So definitely wanted to get a little look at the markets and see how they're doing today. Answer a few questions and see what's going on. Get a perspective. I'm not sure if anybody had any questions or any answers, or any questions that people wanted to ask. I'm just going to be here and answer. Um, so I want to be able to stream this across different platforms. So I'm going to. This is going to be fun. All right. So getting into it, I guess we'll start with what is a stock and what's the stock market and how we're going to approach these markets going into the future or going into this next trading day. You're still seeing a lot of downward pressure, right? You have pretty much all the indices going down on lower volume. So we're going to watch to see if there's any just any uptick or any large substantiated move with larger amounts of volume, and maybe just a double bounce, right? Instead of just one bounce and then going back and retracing. So some things I was looking at today, I was looking at the NASDAQ, QQQ. And I was also looking at the SPY, right? Just being able to understand the trends and have an approach, right, is important. You really want to understand and have your own rules, even before you start to invest. Having set laid out rules could help save you in terms of losing immediately after an investment. Say if you are watching NVIDIA and it has a tremendous uptrend or it goes up exponentially in a J shape and it starts to retrace, right? And then it goes back up. That's not going to be a problem. But if it starts to go up, retrace, back down, and it doesn't beat that second support line, or excuse me, the second resistance line, if it's going up and it comes back down and breaks support, then that's going to be an instance where you're going to say, hey, if I lost maybe 7 to 10% of the stock, should I sell out? That might be something you want to ask yourself when you're investing at like all-time highs. So just looking at other things on the market, looking at other ideas on how I can increase my ownership of a stock or increase my ownership of a company in general, because that's all a stock is. A stock is just ownership in a particular company, whether you have, a small amount or maybe a couple thousand shares, whatever the case may be. So I want to increase my ownership in the companies that are going to be set to do well in the future. How do I know that? How does anybody ever know that? Right? I mean, we've heard about researching the short interest rate, something that a trader did off of GameStop, right? So realizing maybe you want to go the opposite route and see if companies are going to go down because of the fact that institutions are betting on them, right? Betting that they're going to go down, which increases that short interest rate. And there are different approaches to that. But as a long-term investor, what I want to do is I want to increase my ownership of companies that I believe in. And that's exactly the end result, right? That's what everybody's trying to do. We're trying to increase our capital appreciation as well as our rate of return. right? Whether it be the interest rate, the interest that when it appreciates, or the dividend interest rate as well. So that's two different forms. But I mean, if you're just looking at the markets and saying, hey, when do I get in or how do I get in? You want to first create an investment account, right? There are several things it's gonna take to create an investment account. You're gonna have to submit your identifying information. You're gonna have to submit your address and give a little background about yourself. So you can still do all that and get started within the next couple days. There are, let's see, there are a few different sites that allow you to do partial shares. So you don't have to buy a whole share of stock, right? Just say, for instance, you were buying that share of Berkshire Hathaway. I think it's the A shares, A, yeah, A shares, which is about $750,000. So that company has never split. So not many people are going to be able to afford that. So what you can do is you can buy partial shares in some other companies that allow that on those platforms. Right. So, bam. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Get into the analysis of the day and just kind of look into what we're looking for the next couple of hours. I guess we're gonna make sure it's done. We're gonna make sure we do this. Yeah, I'll just chop it up later. And when you're investing in the market, you want to figure out if you're a trader, I know it's going to be hard to figure out which one to trade because there's so much information around you. There's so many people telling you that you should trade forex, stocks, meme coins, whatever the case may be. But it's just up to you. Whatever your knowledge, uh, whatever personally, whatever you have a passion about. And that's what you got to trade in. And that's pretty much what it is with investing. Once you have a passion for your stock or your company, you're going to be more inclined to actually follow that company, follow that stock a little bit closer. You pay attention to some of the filings, some of the things that goes on, whether it be something that's trending or something that's just maybe going through a different cycle. So you'll be more aware of those things that are going on with that company, with that stock, if you have a better passion. So trade what you love. If you get in depth to certain commodities, trade that. If you like meme coins or crypto, trade what you love. As long as you have an understanding of it, as long as you do the research. And I'm doing that now. We're taking that time to actually dive in to the actual stock market as a former advisory specialist. What we do is trade uh, fixed income, equities, other alternative assets. These types of things that we encompass and we try to do for the client. Whatever they may need, um, whatever market it may be. So there's a lot of knowledge uh, with investing that comes with having maybe a Series 7 or 66 or 63 or SIE. And with that, you have a little bit more of an understanding of what to do and how the stock market works. Also, when you start getting into the technical analysis, maybe stocks, graphs, charts, anything that can show you a better understanding of what you're investing in, then that might go a little bit better for you in the future as well, right? So throughout this journey, we're going to learn how to do that, how to invest, how to read the chart, how to recognize some things in the chart, how to get started, right? Is how to get started and what's to look for, what's important to you, you know. So eventually this will be my business. We'll make sure everybody learns about investing, right? Let's see. I don't know how to get questions on here yet. Right. So how do I questions from people? Mm-hmm. We're talking about if we were to like open, so say if we're getting started and you just wanted to learn how to open up a brokerage account, right? You would go to a site like a Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade,